This is going to be a workshop run through of creating the search in my desk property tracker through your John L. Scott account, and then being able to take that information and then plug that into your website and create a individual web page that highlights the activity in that specific search. That search, when they go on that web page, will show the last 6 months of history. So it'll show sold up to 6 months back, plus active and pendings, and all pending. So pending inspection, pending backup request, pending anything like that. So the way this works is we first have to go into my desk. So sharing the screen here, and if you have not done this before, you have to create a contact for yourself, your John Scott email address. Okay, so if I go into contacts, it's coming, it's loading. So, oh, come on now, there we go. All right, so I have my own contact already created. As you can see here, it shows that Kelly Nutt, John L. Scott. Now, if you haven't created this yet, you're not going to have this on the right side. It might look a little bit different. It might not say manage. It might say create property tracker account. Which you click that button. Essentially, it's going to bring you to this same area here. The only difference is favorites, searches will all say 0, or there won't be anything there. And so you can see here that I have 13 saved searches, and they're all just labeled differently. But if it's brand new, we need to create a new search. If it's brand new, you will not have the new search option down here at the bottom. So in order to start a new search that we're going to save, you actually have to come up here to the top and select the search tab on the website. Okay. Now this is going to pull up the John L. Scott, what the consumer sees. So just know that this is exactly how it's done. And so let's create a brand new search. What's an area that we can do? What's a neighborhood or a community that we should do? Someone help me out here.
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek, okay. So if I type in Mill Creek, it automatically populates the city, maybe a street, a school. I'm going to select the top one, which is Mill Creek, which is going to give me the whole city. So this is Mill Creek proper. And as you can see, here are the boundary lines. Okay. So this is going to be a broader search. If I select pendings and solds, it might be too many. Nope, they all fit in there. That's great. Okay. So the next part we have to do here in order for us to be able to access this and put it on our web page is then we have to select save. When I select save, did the pop-up show up for you for save new search? Do you guys see that? Yep. Okay. So then you can name this whatever you want. People aren't really going to see this part. So I'm just going to type it Mill Creek for website. And then there you have two options at the bottom. One is new listing notifications. Do you want to get emailed? This is going to go to your John L. Scott email. Do you want to get emailed whenever there's a new active, pending, and sold? It's a personal preference, and then you can choose on the type of notification. Do you want it immediately when something goes active, under contract, or closes? Do you want it daily, weekly, or bi-weekly? I'm going to just turn it off. But I'm going to leave Market Insights on because I want that once a month email to show me what's going on in the city of Mill Creek. I'm now going to select save. Now that takes care of step one, which is the save search under my John L. Scott profile. So step two is now we have to go back to my desk, and then we have to go to the website designer tab on the far left, which is right here. Now this might take a little while to load up because it is loading your website. Oh, it's not. There we go. Hey Jen, how's it going?
Hey, good. In Bothell. I got Russ.
What's up, Russ? Yo. So now that I'm in the website design, the one thing that we can do first is if you click where it says home and all that, and you click this link, it's going to automatically direct you to your website so you can see, maybe you have the standard generic John L. Scott website right now. I've created different tabs at the top, which are pages. And so that's what we're going to do next is I want to add Mill Creek Homes up here on my tab so that I can create a completely new web page that I can share with anyone in Mill Creek. I can share it to the neighborhood, that neighborhood app. I can share it to a Facebook page. I can email it out to anyone in my database, anything like that. You can promote it on social media. So in order to do this, we have to look at the left panel here where all this different information is. Now everybody's is going to look a little bit different, but these are the different pages that you have. So this is your command center for pages. And then whatever page you're in on the right side, this is the actual content that is showing up and why that page looks that way. So since I don't have a Mill Creek page, we're going to create a page from scratch. So I'm going to hit add. And so what would you like to add? I want to add a page. I don't want to add a folder or a link at this time. So that'll be the next class. That'll be like a folder will be like class level 200. Right now we're in 100. And click next. And now what's happening is the system is automatically building out a generic page for your website. Now, this might take a little bit. It always takes anywhere from 15 to 25 seconds for it to generate this information. And once it's done, now we get to choose from the page, choose your page from the library. And so on here, you have 8 choices to choose from: luxury focused home, agent focused home, search focused home, map search, featured listings, listing detail, a contact me page, or even a blank page. So for highlighting neighborhoods or communities with real estate information, probably the most popular one would be featured listings. Okay. And so we're going to hit add because that's the featured listings that we want to show. Now, what's my navigation menu title? So instead of it saying featured, I want this to show that the name is Mill Creek Homes. Okay. Now SEO, which is search engine optimization, I want it to reflect something that it hopefully generates a little bit more traffic to the website. So that's this link appears in search engines. Shorter titles are better. So Mill Creek Homes. Even if you capitalize anything, no matter what, it's going to be a lowercase, and there will always be a dash when there's ever a space. I'm going to select next. So this next question is, would you like to include this page in the navigation menu? This is your navigation menu up here, where it has home search, Crooked Homes, about me, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I want this to show up top. I want it to be easily accessible. I want it to stand out. So that's where I'm putting it. Next is, where in the navigation menu would you like this page to appear? We're going to select top because right now we are not creating a folder. Again, that'll be the next step, our next workshop on this. From there, some steps were skipped because we didn't need them because we weren't creating a folder. And so now it shows you that the navigation title, Mill Creek Homes, title, Mill Creek Homes, your URL slug is Mill Creek Homes. What does that mean? If you went to kellynut.johnlscott.com/Mill Creek Homes, this would actually show up. Now I'm going to hit save. Now what's happening is my desk is actually creating the page for us to build the content in. So on this left side, while the circle's processing, in this area, once it's done, we will see Mill Creek Homes in this section. And there it is, right there. Okay. Now it's highlighted, which means now I can create content on that specific page. Now, in order to do this, we first have to select at the top right the edit button. Now that changes what you see here. You can see that each box has tab to add content. There are lots of them. You can make these pages really, really big and long, but we want this to be very focused on Mill Creek homes. So the first part is, you know, I'm gonna see what this does. It says tap to add content. I click it. Can I get a thumbs up to make sure that you guys can see the pop-up? Okay, thank you, Ahmad. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jen. Now, what type of content would you like to add? So because I'm gonna close this out real quick. Because we're clicking this first box that says tap to add content, this is the top of the page. So the way you see this, this is in sequential order of exactly where the content will be. So you have lots of choices here. The brand, so if I select brand, you could then add your profile picture, your name, any awards or certifications. Like we can add this certified negotiation expert to this. If you have the John Scott seller buyer certifications, we can add those to them if you wanted to be, if you wanted this to highlight your brand. You can do a search input, which means they can do property searches. A paragraph is a write-up. It looks just like a Word doc that you can put information in if you want to say something. Image, you can add an image. So there's a really nice picture that resembles maybe Mill Creek or styles of homes in Mill Creek. You can add video from Vimeo or YouTube. And these ones, if you click them, it's just a code. You put a code in and it automatically puts the video in. Same with YouTube. You'd put the YouTube ID in. And so if you were on Vimeo or YouTube, every video has its own ID. You can copy and paste that in. Okay. The other parts are you can do an HTML embed. This will be also in our next workshop with folders because this allows you to move the video or images to center them, put them on the left, the right, bigger, smaller, lots of different things you can do with it. Call out buttons. These are pre-made John L. Scott call out buttons for get people to sign up for Property Tracker, use the mobile app, search for homes, or we can do featured listings. I'm not going to do featured listings because that's actually the next piece below it. I'm going to do an image. And here's the really cool thing that we have access to already. There are lots of saved images on the John L. Scott public file here. So if you click the arrow that's pointing to the right, you click it down. Well, now I can do community photos. I can do home photos. Let's see, I don't think I'd want to do anything else besides that. I'm going to go with home photos. And then now you have a choice of exterior or interior. I'm going to do exterior. And I know Mill Creek, because I lived there for a long time, that there are a ton of craftsman homes in Mill Creek. So I think it'd be best to put a craftsman style home on that front image that someone's going to see that might resemble a home in Mill Creek. And I think the best one is the first one. I'm going to select save. And so now I have created, this page that will look, you can go and check it out to see what it looks like right now. So there we go. Don't worry about the listings that are showing up here yet, okay? But I'm just building out this website. So I have this nice home that might be in Mill Creek, but it falls into what a lot of homes look like in Mill Creek. Here comes the part for where we created the save search and where it comes into play. We're going to tap to configure this second rectangle that has 9 squares in it. When I click it, it says, would you like to include a title bar and sort controls above the listings? Yes, include the title bar and sort controls above listings. And then what I want this to say is active, pending, and sold properties in Mill Creek. Okay. You can leave it blank if you don't want to say anything, but I want it to have some direction so people know what they're looking at. I select next. So here's where that save search comes into play. Which type of listings would you like to feature? Save search or my listings? Oh, I don't have any listings, but I do have a save search. Now, the only way that these searches are going to pop up are only if you created that save search with your John L. Scott email address through the contacts tab on the left. And you can see right there that, hey, there's the Mill Creek for website save search that I created. So now it's highlighted, I select it, okay? And then I'm going to select next, okay? Now, how would you like the display of these listings? There's a grid that's going to show them like, as a grid, or the carousels where they actually move. And you have to, the carousel only has like one line of images. So that's why the grid is a little more consumer friendly, because it shows multiple properties on a page. And so then I'm going to keep it as a grid. I want to click next. And then here's where we can edit what the page looks like, or that specific area that page looks like with the grid. So as you can see, that show multiple pages, you want to select that because we have a very, very big, we're doing a whole city. And then the number of listings visible in a grid at once. As you can see, you can go anywhere from 6 up to 72. I am going to do, let's do 3 dozen there. Now that's all personal preference, okay? If it was a much smaller, if you're doing a very small neighborhood, let's say maybe 200 homes or less, I would go with a smaller number. Now, how do you want these listings to be sorted? There's a default, but I personally like to go by status. So active, pending, and sold, and then order by, this is like low to high or high to low for prices. I'm going to start with, I'm going to do low to high, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm telling the system on how I want these listings to show up in that specific section. I select next. Would you like to add some listings to the results manually? You can add additional listings in if you select yes. If I select yes, you can add an MLS number in. Once you add that number in, you have to hit enter, or else it will not show up in additions on this side. I'm going to go back. I do not want to add any manually right now, so I'm going to select no. And then, would you like to exclude some listings from the results? Depending on what kind of search you have going on, if there is a one-off, like commercial, I don't know, something probably that you just don't want it showing up on the page for some reason, you could exclude that the same way you can add a listing in with the MLS number. I select next, okay? Your featured listings preview, active, pending, and sold properties in Mill Creek. Now you can see, this gives you an idea of what it looks like as a preview for the first page, okay? And then we simply click save. And then now I want to take a look and see what it looks like before I publish this. Okay, there we go. So first of all, at the top right up here, you can see that there's Mill Creek Homes. We are in that page right now. And then right here it says active, pending, and sold properties in Mill Creek. I love that get your home valuation pops up on the left for anyone looking at this. But now, yes, Jen.
Do they auto update with status changes and new listings?
Yes, absolutely. So everything is on the IDX feed from the MLS. This will go back 6 months for sold. So You know, if there's a sold property that sold 5 months ago and we're 2 months down the road, that property will no longer show up on here. If the home comes back on the market, it's going to go back to active. So, great question. And that's the nice part about this is it's automatically doing it for you once you set it. You do not have to monitor this on a minute, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So it's really nice. So you can see here that because of the way I did from low to high price with status, it's going to show all actives first. This gives you an idea of what everything looks like. We have 36 total per page. And then right after active, now we have all pendings. Okay. We come down, and then the bottom left here are my controls for the pages. There's a total of 5 pages because we have so many properties. I can click arrow over, it takes me to page 2. And now they're pretty much, we have what, a handful of pendings on here, what, 4 pendings, and all the rest of the pages, all the way to page 5 will be sold properties. Okay. We're not done because we haven't published this yet. But the other thing I wanted to show is that, okay, you know what? I want to add a little bit more content to this page to maybe capture someone's information, to show them that I'm the resource, I'm the hyperlocal expert for Mill Creek. So I'm going to click on tap to add content. And what I want to do here is I want to add some call out buttons. Now you get you're gonna add 3 call out buttons. And so for the first one, let's see, I want them to create a property tracker account. The next one, I want it to match. So you can see the different styles of call out buttons. I want to do this interactive map, and then I'm going to add the mobile app to it and hit save. So now I'm going to come back here. Just going to refresh this page. Excuse me, I've got a dry. So now you can see that I've added these call out buttons here. Okay. Sign in, log in, or sign up, log in, go to the map, download the mobile app, and then you will always show up down here with whatever your profile picture is with your information. Okay. So now I've added an image, I've added a specific search, I've added call out buttons, and then do I want to do anything else for this? The only thing that I would recommend maybe doing just for SEO and everything else would be to add a video, a community video. And so let's see. Let's see if we want to do a Mill Creek video. The cool thing is that John Scott actually has community videos for every community. I just need to go find it real quick. And I know that we have screen recorded every single one and put them on our Buy Something Northwest website. So if you ever need to get to the videos, you come to the lifestyles tab and select on Northwest communities. And here we have access to every video that John Will Scott has created in alphabetical order. So since I know I want to get to Mill Creek, I need to get way down to Mill Creek. And there it is. It's going to take a second to load because I'm on my hotspot in my car. All right, so here is the community spotlight for Mill Creek, Washington. Close this. If I hit play, the reason why I play is because I actually want to go to YouTube itself. And here's why. I don't want to share the video code. What I want to do is I want to share this. I click share, and here is the code that there's you can do an embed code. So I click embed code, and the embed option, show play controls, leave that checked. Do not check enable privacy enhanced mode. But then what we have to do is we have to copy this actual embed code here. And this is just telling the system that when I come here to the HTML embed code, if I paste it in, you can see that this is the code for how the video is going to show up and how it's going to be played. So now I'm just going to hit save. And as you can see, because that embed code means whatever, that video now shows up right here in this page. So I want to take a look and see what that looks like. So now I have an image, I have Homes from Mill Creek, I have call out buttons somewhere down here, and then now I have a community spotlight video of Mill Creek. But what's the problem? It's not centered. Okay. So now we have to do a little bit of coding in order to center it. And so this is where I come in. So if you have a video that you want to add to your website and it's showing up on the left, just contact me. I will go in as you and I'll put the embed code in correctly to get it centered. Now, in order to do something like that, I can show you. So what we have to do here is we have to write a little code. And I'm going to try to remember this off the top of my head. And then it's center there. And then from here, it is, I think that is it. Let's see if it does it. Come back here, fresh. Come all the way. Nope, it didn't do it. It moved it over. No, it didn't. So don't worry about the center part. I will get that taken care of. But I wanted to show at least how you embed. Oh, that's why. This might be why. Let's see if that did it. There we go. It did it. So we have to just add specific coding to the start, which is greater than, center, less than, and then at the end you have to do the same part, and that's how you center a video. I hit save. And then now, if I want to make this live, and so it shows up on my website, I click the green publish. But before we do that, do you see how Mill Creek Homes is over here on the far right? Well, maybe I want that to show up right after home because Mill Creek that's my area and I want that to stand out. And that's the area that I'm targeting. That's my business. You come over back to my desk and you click on Mill Creek Homes and then you just drag it up. Every time you do it, it has to reload. The screen won't automatically go up, but in about 5 or 10 more seconds, I'll be able to bring it up here. Okay, so now I'm going to move it all the way up to there. It's going to reload. And once that's done reloading, I'll show you that we moved that tab. There we go. I refresh this page and then boom, there it is. Home, search, Kirkland Homes, Mill Creek Homes, About Me, Contact, Bothell Homes, and Katie Homes. Obviously mine's a little bit of a mess right now because I've been moving stuff around. But you come here, you click publish. And then now it'll be there permanently until you want to take it down. There we go. That is how you create a property search page for your specific website. Questions? Easy as pie?
Probably more questions when we actually do this.
Well, the nice part is that it's saved. So this recording will be saved on the cloud, so we can access it at any time. And the other part is you can just reach out to me anytime, because I can go in. You see up here in the box, if I type in Chris, who shows up? Chris shows up.
There I am. Do it for me.
If I click on Chris, now I'm Chris in my desk, and I'm in his website designer.
Yes, I need help.
You need help, right?
I do, because I'm actually, so I'm on a I've got a work order with
like broker care or something.
Yeah, broker care, because there's something funky going on with mine. We went through the website designer and tried to get it done, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, because I love the property tracker idea, because it's going to just pop those homes in the areas that they're looking for. They're great for a nurture lead, somebody 6, maybe 12 months down the road. Also to give them an idea, is this your ideal location? Great. So let me just give you access to all homes that go active until you're ready, so you can kind of see how that works out there. I love it, but I haven't been able to fix it. So maybe I can come and swing by Bothell and we can chat.
Yeah, I can dive into it, and see if I can help resolve it, because this is Market Insights is my favorite tool as far as like being informative, but you can't do Market Insights without Property Tracker. And so, like, if you had a Property Tracker account for every single person, and you don't have to highlight the web page. Like, it can be hidden. It doesn't have to show up on your website. But if you had a web page for every single person that had a Property Tracker account, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty powerful, because it's like, hey, not only are you going to get an email every month of exactly what's going on in that search, you also can just go to this website and it's going to always show you what's taking place. What is, and the psychology behind that is that we want everyone, psychology is that, okay, we know our crap in that specific area. Like, that's the go-to. If I'm in Mill Creek, and there's Alstom, I want, the person's thought being like, oh, that's a mod's neighborhood. We're in a mod, I'm the mayor of Mill Creek, a mod,
Yeah.
And so, we have such great tools at the tip of our fingertips from Donald Scott. The problem is, when you have 3,000 brokers for a company, it's really hard to implement it for each individual person, because we're all working for ourselves. And so, my take on all this is that we're going to do workshops on this for a long, long time, on how to use these few different tools in many different ways that you are being visible, and then that reticular activator kicks in for people, and they instantly think of, you are the person that owns this area for real estate. You are the hyperlocal expert. I go to you for all the resources. And it might not be like for a home valuation. It might be, our grass is terrible. We want fake grass, or, we need to get our house painted. Like, we want everyone knowing that we're there as the resource, not pushing them to buy and sell. We hold the information, and that's what we're there for. So that's why I think these things are so helpful.
what does the consumer see? Do they have to like opt in for any of this, or is it just kind of sent as a link and they? Cool.
You could literally take this. Actually, it's been published. So if I refresh, let's see, if I click on, let's just go to Mill Creek Homes. I go to the homepage of it. And so now I have a unique link that is specific to this page that is visible to anyone in public. So I can copy and paste this into an email. You can copy and paste this into Facebook. So if I come into Facebook, I can then, paste that code in, and then, okay, there's no image showing up. So what you need to do, if you don't see an image show up, this is kind of a trick. We're kind of getting off track a little bit, but if you don't see the image coming in here, it might be because I'm on my hotspot as well. But sometimes if you delete it and repost it, it'll pull an image from your website. Because right now, if I post this, it's just going to be it's not going to catch anyone's eye. You'd also want to do it.
Yeah.
See if we can try one more time. Change preview. There we go. Eek. Don't want that.
Wow, that caught my eye.
So and if
Kelly's torso, that caught my eye.
and Mill Creek homes are in Kelly's torso.
This realtor.
Yeah, exactly. The other cool part you can do is you can add, I'd be careful because you don't want to limit yourself, but you could add it to an email signature, right? But your email goes out to people all over the place. So then, you don't want to give the perception that you only work in Mill Creek. But, there's other ways. LinkedIn is a great place to share this because LinkedIn is, I think, a resource that we don't use enough. I too don't use it enough. And that is a business-to-business networking. So if you are providing business information or real estate information, that could be something very powerful to grab people's attention. And what we're doing here is we're baiting the hook. We're putting it out there to see if we can get nibbles. And if we get nibbles, it's just like fishing. Like you might have to recast it a few times. And then, if they take a big bite, then we got to, really set the hook. And, that doesn't happen on the first cast usually. And I think that's the hard part with this is that we expect instant results. But anyone that's successful in real estate, there wasn't instant results. It takes time and it takes repetition and it takes a routine and consistency for these things to work. So if this is something that you want to dive into,
people aren't just jumping into your car to want to work with you. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah, go down. Come on in.
Yeah, they're like fish jumping into a boat. It doesn't work like that. No,
exactly, right?
Yeah, you got to be out there with a pole in the water, right?
And sometimes you got to change bait, but and if you've got good bait or you've got great, you might have the best reel and rod in the world, right? Like we have amazing technology at our fingertips, but if we're not using it, if we're not actually in a boat and in the water, it isn't gonna do shit for us, so and it takes time. If you set one of these up, you're not going to be sending it. You're not going to get 6,000 views on your webpage tomorrow. You might get one or two, but guess what? One or two is better than zero. And it's just, these are just different things that we can do to keep ourselves out there. And this is not to replace networking and connecting and talking to people and all that. But this is an added value when you do talk to people because you can say, hey, I've got these things for you. Let me send you the link. Let me add you to, my database so you can receive monthly information. And it just helps generate more conversation, helps you learn more about people, and it helps you learn more about possible plans in the future and how you can possibly help them or friends and family. So that's my whole take on this. And that's why I like this. It's fun and it's creative. And the other thing that I get from this is that when I create all these different searches, I learn a hell of a lot more about each area too, of what's going on in the market, what homes are selling, what price points are moving. Because, you know, I'm sitting here in Bridal Trails in Kirkland, and less than a mile south of me is Bellevue, a Bellevue city of Bellevue. There's a difference in prices, you know, there's a difference in everything. And that's why being hyper local is so important. And we can use these tools to highlight that. So
Love it.
yeah. And there's only 6 of us on here, but this is, you know, we'll get this out to more people and get more people joining in, because we'll start what I'll do next Thursday is I'm going to show everyone how to create the folder, and then you can put all of your community search in there. So, and then you can send you then that's just very easy for people to access it. You don't want your banner at the top to be like 30 different tabs. You just want a folder, it drops down, and then in alphabetical order will be the different city or neighborhood searches that you'll have. People can instantly access that. Or I see it more of I can instantly access it and get that out to someone else.
Nice.
Questions? No?
No, it was a good refresher.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no questions.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I think the one of the best things you said about all this is learning while you're doing it. And you know, it's always especially we get people that move here from out of state or whatever, and then they're like, well, I don't know if I could really call myself a hyper local expert. You know, and you know what I think about that? You guys ever have somebody that come into town and they're like, hey, what's it like going to XYZ? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Where's that? I never even heard of it, you know? And they're like, what? You never heard of it? And you do the same thing when you go into somebody else's town. You don't have to have lived here your whole life to be a hyperlocal expert. I think, you know, if you spend time building like these neighborhood pages and you kind of take a look at the listings and you kind of look at some restaurants and you look at, you know, the all that kind of stuff, you're gonna get it. You're gonna know it. You're gonna know more than the average person. So,
And you can do it pretty quick. And like if you're out there, you know, like don't just do the search online. You know, go through a couple of homes and preview these different areas when you have time. And if you, like you said, go to a couple of the restaurants, you're going to meet new people. You know, and so it's twofold. It's not only are you getting more information, educating yourself to educate other people, but you know, you're networking at the same time. I mean, it's a really cool business that we're in if we're doing the things the right way, and that's how we grow. So